Greetings bleepers, how the devil are you? Okay, today I want to do a quick kind of like overall review of what I think is the best metal detector that I've personally used over like last 3 or 4 years. I haven't got them all here. We're gonna have to have some honorary mentions like the Rutus and probably the Amphibio as well. I think they were in that time frame ish. They were both good machines. I'm going to go through every single one and tell you what I think about one, and then right at the end I'll tell you what I think is the best one, having tested all of them over the last few years. Let's get on with it, shall we? And we're going to start down with the C-Scope 1220 XD. And it might surprise you that I used this, but don't be, I mean, that found me my Bronze Age hoard a few years ago. Another honorary mention is the C-Scope R1, which was the upgrade to this, which was released in 1999, I believe, and it had a digital screen. The reason that I used these is because I was doing a retro series for C-Scope at the time, and it was so much fun. The R1 was brilliant. I found quite a few hammers with that. This was great. This found me my hoard, so I can't, you know, it's in there. It is definitely in there. Then we move on to the C-Scope, the underslung. That's why I can't see it. C-Scope 6MX. Which was my workhorse for so many years. Released in about 2012, and at the time it stood up against the Deus. You know, it was a potent machine, and C-Scope was still a kind of like relevant thing. The only British company. Of course, it was audio only, no screen or anything like that, but it was so quick, and it's still quick to this day. And British made, it is bloody hard, like, in the sense of it got run over by a JCB when I was in Latvia. It fell in a pond once and it was fine, and to this day this is, oh, it doesn't work. I thought it was I don't know if it's got batteries in it. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, but anyway, it is this was my kind of first love. I had 3MX before that, and I found my first hammered with it, and then I went on with this machine to find a lot today. Probably overpriced for what you're going to pay for it, you know, compared to everything else which is coming up in the list. But if you can get hold of one of these second hands and you don't want to fiddle with screens and stuff like that, still a potent voice, personally, I think, in the metal detecting industry. Well, we have something good from C-Scope here. We have something pretty awful from C-Scope here. I was the field tester for this machine, and I've spent so much time with this machine. I spent tons of time with it, and it ended up being a massive disappointment. What was even more of a disappointment was that I told C-Scope my problems, and they just didn't listen to me, and they released the machine anyway. I mean, yeah, you know, what do I know about metal detecting, eh? They released the machine anyway, and you all know what happened after that. Especially at that price point, never going to live up to something like the Equinox. I was promised it would. It didn't. They failed. I think they should rewrite, just start again on a whole new machine and forget about that. Quickly moving on to the G-Max, the Gold Max Power. One of the best machines that I have ever used. It's funny actually, because I got hold of this to do a test and review, and I thought I was going to hate it, and it was just mind-blowingly good. I love this machine. It's really good depth. Again, no audio interface, but it was my first telescopic machine as well, and I do believe that it became before the Amphibio. I got it before the Amphibio. It did, you know, on market become more before the Amphibio. It's just fantastic. So simple to use. If you can pick one of these up secondhand on eBay, honestly, get one of these bad boys. They are so good. Better than the 6MX. Just beautiful. I'd still use that to this day if I wasn't testing out all these other machines. You know, it's really, really good. Thoroughly recommend it. Right, so we now move on to the brilliant Quest series, missing the 20 and the 40. X5. If it wasn't for, there's all reviews to this stuff in the description below, by the way, and links to them if you're interested. If it wasn't for this, I would say that this is amazing for the price. But this, for paying a couple of quid more, go for this, the X10, or even the X10 Pro now. The X10 Pro is just a phenomenal machine. The amount of hammers that I got with this little guy, I love it to pieces. I just think it's absolutely fantastic. But we have locked stems. It's the only problem, it's the only weakness, but there's so many other things that these offer these little machines, especially to beginners. So potent at phenomenal price point. The Quest range is quite amusing actually, because I started working for Joan Allen and I started doing review videos and using that range in my videos. And it's funny because I was like, oh no, these are gonna suck. These are gonna be really bad, and I'm gonna have to go back to Joan Allen and say, like, look, we can't do this because I can't review these machines. I can't lie to people. I've never lied to people. I've never ever lied to people about a machine ever. I just don't do that. So I'm just gonna have to say, sorry, we can't work together because, you know, they suck. But thankfully they were really good and I fell in love with them and they're brilliant, thankfully. Now we come on to the bigger brother of the X10, which is the Q30 with a telescopic stem there. Well, what can I say about this? I'll say it a little bit later. I mean, just brilliant at the price point. Again, I just can't believe how good, how much you get under the box for your money is ridiculous. I did that, I did a conclusion video when I tested it, and it was this metal detector is dangerous. And it is dangerous because it undercut other machines that were not as good and were more expensive. Just still brilliant. Bigger brother, Q60, well, the Q40 technically. Q60, multi-frequency in the sense of you pick singular frequencies, a bigger coil, telescopic, everything else that comes with it. I'm not going to go into specs here on each machine, there's no need, but it's just a potent version of that. Yeah, it's a more powerful version of that, but with that potency you're going to pay more money. That's so impressive because it's so cheap, as is that. But that's a big boy, you know, big boy. The workhorse, the Equinox 800, a phenomenal machine, still absolutely relevant to this day. The locked in stem does feel a bit dated these days. When they made this machine, they focused so much on everything which was under the bonnet and how it performed with the multi-frequency, etc. And they kind of like skipped on a few things here, and over time those few things are beginning to kind of like catch up on it, bless its little heart. But you can just swap them out for other bits. Still phenomenal. It's MindLab, come on, you're going to get a consistent product with MindLab. Actually their mid-range machine, one of their mid-range machines compared to the E-Track and the 3030, which I've never used, but just a great all-rounder for absolutely everything. Although I did drown one once because there was a little crack in the coil and I went into the sea, and oh, it was so sad. It was so sad. Right, and here we have the Legends, which is the new Nocta macro machine, which is absolutely awful. Well, actually, that's not fair at all. Listen to me closely here, please. It's very, very important. It was absolutely awful before the new update, which has apparently cleaned all of the problems up, okay? I managed to test this quite extensively before release, and its potential is high, but it just wasn't ready at that time. Apparently this update will sort everything out, okay? So please hold that in mind. A quick note on that, actually, that machine, the update only came out last week, and YouTubers were reviewing that machine saying it's the most amazing thing they've ever used before the update come out. No, it wasn't. I don't know, were they using a different machine to me? Or don't say something's really, really good when it's not. I mean, this update on the Nocta macro is going to clean that up, hopefully. I will do a test after, but before then, what were you lot talking about? Right, so there you go. There's a small update of all of the machines that I've used. Well, nearly all of the machines. Well, not nearly all of the machines. Probably actually double that in the last few years. Now, what one do I think is the best out of the lot? Which one is it? Come on. And it's that one right there, just because it's so much fun to use. It's so simple to use, and it's just a value for money. I mean, it's not going to be as potent as that, you know, but it doesn't matter because it's just so pick-upable. It's such a brilliant machine, so versatile in what you can do with it. You know, it can go on beaches and you can salt water and, you know, pasture and just everything. This offers everything that a kind of higher range metal detector offers at a much, much cheaper price. Of course, again, there's a link in the description below. I love this. So this is the winner. That would be the close second, I would say, because of again, just the money, just the amount of, just they're so cheap and they're so great. And then obviously that would be my third, because, well, it's the 800 and it just does absolutely everything you want to do. So there you go, there's my favourite metal detectors of the past few years. And I hope that helps you in some way, my friends. Of course, this is a subjective thing, it's my opinion, but anyway, thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the next video.